Welcome back. So on video 1 we talked about how the story that we tell in our lives, in a particular area of our life, can impact the results that we get. We also touched on what I call the foundational 5, and we kind of dipped into what we call relaxed attraction. This is a place where we go into a nice relaxed state, into a room, which is just a metaphor, and in that room we begin to create all kinds of wonderful things. So now we've done that, we've got the toolbox there. We move on to the what I call the 3-step formula. This is a formula, the deliberate attraction or the mindful attraction formula, which is a tried and tested formula that I've used for probably now with thousands of different people, both in individuals and in groups. So the first thing that we go with, step 1, is to work out what we want. Well, if you notice when you speak to people sometimes that they can always tell you about a particular area, usually that they're struggling with, that they've not got, or they don't want. There's always something in the negative. So that really, as daft as it might sound, can become your new best friend, and we call that contrast. So what I want you to do, you can do this and play the video back by all means, is get an A4 sheet of paper, and I want you to draw a line down the middle. On the top of the page, I want you to write the area that you're working with. So you might want to go ahead now and do that. Get yourself a pencil. Write the area that you want to work with, whether it's health, wealth, relationships, business, whatever it is. Just do write which area you want to work with. So first of all, in the left-hand column, I want you to think about the things that you don't want or you don't like. And maybe go back, you'll probably get down this list, just write on the line, let's say if it's career, I don't want a bad boss, I don't want a job that's miles away, I don't want bad working conditions, stuff along that line. Or it might be that you don't, in a relationship terms, you don't want to meet a bad boyfriend, a bad girlfriend, you don't want somebody who's unfit, you don't want somebody who's lazy, etc, etc. So I want you to drill down that list, and you'll probably get to 5, 6, maybe 10, and you might feel like almost like an impasse. Dig deeper. Look at your previous job where you've had this problem before, or look at your previous relationship and see what pops up, see what you've been attracting. So once you've gone down this list, what we do then is we use that contrast as a springboard to birth clarity. So, for instance, if we say I don't want a bad boss, on the opposite side, I want a good employer. I don't want to work long hours, I want a job that works, hours that suit me. And just keep going down that list and down that list. So what we're looking at here, and I'm going to give just an overview, is how the thing that we talk, we sometimes moan about, we talk about, we can use that. Because if you think about it this way, each and every day, all through the day, I guarantee you, a problem will arise. And that's contrast, right? We call this contrast. So, and what you do automatically, you do this in your mind in most cases. You've got a problem, somebody phones up, you deal with it. So you're doing this as a natural process. However, when it comes to areas of our life, whether it's work and attracting new clients, or a relationship, we're trying to attract a new partner, or attracting money, which is a biggie for most people. See, money touches every day of the week, every hour of the day, in actual fact. So these are important things to bear in mind. So what you do, what I'm teaching you is something that you already know on a subconscious level. It's something that you do. It's something that you do. Watch a child and see how there's something that they're not happy with, and just notice how they very quickly shift to clarity to get what they do want. So once you've got that down, you've got step 1. You now know exactly what you want. Bob Proctor of The Secret, good old Bob there, he made a statement which I think is really profound. He said that, as people, as human beings, we can have anything that we want, literally anything that we want. The problem is we don't know what we want in certain areas. In other areas we do. So it's about working on an area that you're struggling with, okay? And once you've done this, because you see, if you've got one area, imagine it like this. If you've got one area where you're struggling with, this can contaminate, it can seep in. I'm sure we've all experienced, if you've got a problem at work, there's a tendency to sometimes take it home. If you've got a problem with money, it affects your home and your work life. So these are things that happen in every day of the week. So that's step 1. So now we move on to step 2. And step 2 is what we call give our desire or our goal Energy, attention, and focus. So if we're giving it energy, we're giving it attention. If we're giving it attention, we're giving it focus. They're all the same thing. So just choose one of those in whichever way you choose that's right for you. So here, what we do, rather than doing what people, there's a big thing out there, affirmations can work for certain people, but in the main, if you check with a lot of people, you find they're not as effective as what you might think. Okay, let me give you an example. I want you to just in your mind's eye, you may want to close your eyes on this one, and just ask yourself, or just say to yourself, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. Say it 5, 6 times, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, whatever, over and over. And now I want you to just notice where you feel, how you feel in the body. Is it true for you? Now, if you're a millionaire, well, it's going to be true for you. But in the main, most people are not millionaires. So another example of it might be a friend of mine, Michael. He come from a family. They were all big guys. And, he had this, what we call a declarative statement going, all my family are big. My father's big, my mother, whatever was big. I'm going to be big. So he was stuck in that kind of limiting thought, this limiting belief. So what he did, if you look at it this way, imagine you've got Robbie Coltrane and David Beckham, and they're both looking in the mirror, and they're both in the boxers, and they look in the mirror and they go, I have a happy, slender body. Now, who would it be true for? Now, I think you'd all agree it'd be true for David Beckham. Okay, and if you're in America and you're watching this, by the way, Robbie Coltrane, the equivalent would be John Candy, who's now no longer with us. So it's about really what you believe. Now, Muhammad Ali once said, I am the greatest. And for him, at that moment in time, he was the greatest. He was the greatest. So it's about coming up with a process. And I'm going to give you a little look into it. And rather than saying things like that, it's about being more realistic. So, how we reword that is something that I'm excited about. So you've got your clarity, I'm excited about the prospects of a new job. I'm excited at the prospect of, a loving relationship. I love the fact of knowing that sooner or later I'm going to meet somebody. That type of thing. And there's other things that go on that. Well, obviously, we've got a limited amount of time on here. We'll go into that more on the 2-day program. So now we give it energy, attention, and focus. Well, that's 2 parts. A lot of people go, I know what I want. I'm giving it, and I'm working. I'm putting stuff on the internet. I'm putting, vision boards up, but it's still not happening. So this moves us on then to step 3 in the formula. And step 3 is allowing. Now, we've all probably heard it, just allow things to build, allow things to manifest. And allowing, really, in a nutshell, what it means is the absence of doubt. So where does doubt come from? Doubt comes from what we call a limiting belief. And a belief, really, in simple terms, I like to keep things simple, is something that you've learned, you've heard, maybe generally when you were younger, and you've continued to tell yourself over and over again. It then becomes a belief. It becomes fixed in your mind until you get a different perspective on it. And that really is what this workshop's about. So how do we change that? Again, I'll give you a snippet of the word, the process. You see, imagine, what does a scientist do? A scientist, before he believes something, he looks for evidence. So just imagine, if you will, that, imagine that you was 50, you've either lost your job, you've been made redundant, or maybe you've been in a long-term relationship and you're 50 and 60 and you're thinking, there's no way I'm going to meet somebody. There's no way I'm going to get another job. Now, here's where we get the scientist head on. Go on the internet and dial in, look in there and step in. Are there any people over the age of 50 who've met, after being, in a job for years, have found a new job, or after they've been in a loving relationship for, X amount of years, have found another relationship? And I think you'll find that what I'm saying is true. So there's always more. We actually close down, we get a fixed belief, literally doesn't want to see the other information that's potentially there. So, rather than think about it that way, here's another way of looking at it. Lots of people all over the world have just attracted their ideal client, their ideal referral, their ideal loving romance, their ideal financial situation. Millions of people all over the world. Now, think about it. There's 7 billion people. And ask yourself the question. I've got a hunch that you'll be kind of getting a grip of what I'm saying to you. So that's part of the that's the third part. So we've got the first part, knowing what we don't want, burst clarity to get what we do want. The second part is give that energy, attention and focus. And the third part is the belief part, to ask, to believe, basically. So what happens is very often, and this really is where the secret comes in, a lot of people, I've seen so many people, I've dealt with literally, I've done this literally in the thousands now with people, and people think they've just got to sit there, ask, believe and receive. I've had people say, well, yeah, I've packed my job in, I come at home, my parents are paying for everything now, it's coming to me, I'm getting everything for nothing. If that's what you think the law of attraction's about, then you've got a way to go. So the thing is, here's the thing that's missing. You have to do something. Think about it this way. When you get into your car and you dial in your sat navigation where you want to go to, when does the actual sat nav begin to work? When does it begin to work? I'll fill in the space. When you start to move, and then it starts to, it starts to guide you. And like I said previously, when you set off on a journey, you set off on a goal, it's your job on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, all the time, to keep righting the ship. Because like a plane setting off from like Manchester to New York, 90% of the time it's off course. It's got an automatic pilot, sat navigation, you want to call it that. You've got yours, you've got your unconscious and your conscious mind to let you know. So becoming aware of where you're going, seeing that, changing the route, changing the destination. So it's like the beginning of a goal. You start off here, where you are currently, and you've got a goal out here, which is what we call a fixed end. And are you going to go straight there? More than likely not. So what you do, you've got to have flexible means. So you've got to be able to shift and move around on the way. The better you get, the straighter it gets. Because I can guarantee you, as you move through life, through any goal, you're going to have experiences that are going to surprise you on the way. So having that goal there is there just to fix you, to keep going back to. So where, that's what I want, that's what I want, that's what I want. And that's really what we teach on this 2-day workshop, is how to get more of what you want and less of what you don't. So that's that's step 2. I'll see you on the other side at video 3, and we're going to talk then about the final step, or the final stage, which is my story and why I want what I want. So I'll see you on the other side.